comedian is so funny, hailing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Please make a lot of noise for Amanda Averell, everybody!
Milwaukee, how you doing? Yeah, love that so much. I love that he announced cheese curds before I came on stage. That's how I know I've made it. That's fantastic. All right, I'm gonna get this out of the way real quick. I am a single, queer, childless, millennial, emo kid Disney adult. It's a whole lot. We're gonna cover it in the next 20 minutes, okay? That's what we're gonna do. You're gonna get my whole goddamn story, all right? That's how it's gonna go. Firstly, I'm gonna start off with my dating stuff because I am a bisexual woman, but I date mostly men because women are scary. That I like to make mistakes over and over again. We just don't learn, do we? No. Recently got ghosted by a guy. Got ghosted. He came back 6 months later, resurrected, much like Jesus Christ himself, because that's what I said when I saw the text he sent me. He sent me the most romantic thing you could ever say to a woman. He just wrote, "Sup, big dog." Just because I sat on your face like a muzzle, Kevin, doesn't mean you get to call me big dog, okay? That's not how that works, all right? Also, you're a 30-year-old man and your name is Kevin, okay? That means you're named after a Macaulay Culkin character and it's not even the one that died from bees. That's right. I deduced it in my brain, okay? He's named after one of Macaulay Culkin's characters in the movie Home Alone. That's right. And now I have to do the detective work to figure out which one of those Home Alone movies he was named after. Was he named after the first Home Alone movie, where there is a boy in the suburbs of Chicago left home alone, and there are just two good Samaritan men who are surprisingly in their 30s, though they look like they're in their 60s, wandering around, checking on the welfare of this boy in those dangerous suburbs of Chicago? Or is it the second one and his dad just really had a thing for the bird lady? Like, is that it? Because this is the thing about the Home Alone movies, Home Alone 2, there are 3 quotable characters in that movie. 3, that's it. Character number 1, Catherine O'Hara, for all time, always. Okay, that's how that works. Number 2, the bird lady, obviously. And number 3, Tim Curry. That's right, this is my crowd, that's how I know. We've all had a sexual awakening to one of Tim Curry's characters. All right, for some of you, it might have been, Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I knew it was you, man, I could tell. I could tell by the donut on your blouse, I knew it was you. If you're maybe an 80s baby, it could have been the movie Clue. Could have been the movie Clue that gave you a weird kick for butlers later in your life. Or if you're like my sister, it's the movie Muppet Treasure Island. That's right. Okay, firstly, I like Tim Curry. My sister thought he was so hot in that movie, she wore out that VHS tape from the Disney Vault collection before any other VHS tape. Okay? Another point about that movie, he's so hot because bisexual. No, it's awful. Like, I can get hit on that app by a dude who's 24 and his dad who is 54, okay? And the only way I know they're related is because when they send me a dick pic, it's the resemblance. It's usually the haircut that tips me off. Oh, no, it's awful. Like, all the young dudes on there are telling me, they're like, oh, what's your Snapchat? Can you give me your Snapchat? Snapchat? You Snapchat? I'm like, I don't have Snapchat. I'm an adult. But what I do have is an Instagram account where I follow 7 different donut shops in 7 different cities, okay? The only hole I'm concerned about filling involves Boston Creek. That's what I'm telling you right now. That's how I clocked your shirt from a mile away, man. I know where all those locations are. You don't follow Voodoo Donuts, get with it. They're really goddamn good, okay? All right, they're fantastic. Yes, you know what's up. I love that so much. I love a good dick pic, though. It's my favorite type of art. Tried to go to a museum here today. Couldn't go to the museum. Closed Mondays and Tuesdays. You know what? This museum's open 24/7, baby. Okay? All right? I don't need to see Georgia O'Keeffe's, okay? I need to see guys named Keith. That's what I prefer when it comes to my art, okay? I think dick pics are like Pokemon and STDs. You gotta catch them all. And my most favorite is dick pic that I've ever procured through all of my dick pickery, which is all the dick that's right for picking, was sent to me from this one dude on this one website. It was FetLife because I'm kinky. Some of you know, some of you don't. Some of you will Google it later. Have fun. It was a picture of this dude. He sent me a picture of his dick with my name written on it in Sharpie marker. That man never met me and made a permanent mistake. Okay? All right? That was awful. It was terrible, because for those of you playing along, Amanda, only 6 letters. 6 letters. 3 of them are P, 6 letters. You guys remember when you were in elementary school and you wanted to do a book fair or science fair project? You had to get out that poster board and those good smelly markers that gave you a huffing problem later in high school, those ones? And you're like, I'm gonna make this look so fancy, I'm gonna write in bubble letters. And you just start out with a big P, and the H, and the O. Yeah, dude, if I wanted to see my name written on something small and white, I would have bought one of those rice necklaces on the boardwalk as a kid. That was terrible. But with a screen name like the Bone Collector, I don't know what I was expecting. This is awful. I'm single all the time into my phone. My phone records all my sets. I call my phone Harriet now because she is spot. Harriet now suggests the world's worst podcast humanly imaginable to me at all times. You think Joe Rogan's bad? Holy shit, is there something worse, okay? You want to know what something worse is? Something worse is 30-year-old women who are blonde-haired, blue-eyed, former Miss Universe pageant contestant winners who have been married for 15 years. That math does not math, okay? They have 2 kids, and I can't tell if they're from Austria, Australia, or Austin, Texas. And they're trying to teach me how I should be more feminine and what I should be looking for in a man. What? I don't know. It's insane. They'll get on there and they'll be like, as a woman, you should have black cat energy. Best I can do is an emo Garfield, ma'am. Like, I got those same black streaks in my hair from that $4 box of Revlon I bought at Rite Aid. Rest in peace, Rite Aid. You know, I have accidentally shipped something to Abu Dhabi because I don't know how Amazon returns work. And I will eat a whole pan of lasagna, okay, in my bed. But it is Stouffer's vegetable because I'm healthy. Then she'll get on that podcast and be like, as a woman, you should want a man with golden retriever energy. What part of that last description makes you think I can handle a purebred anything? Okay? All right? I'm not out here trying to win the Westminster Dog Show. Give me a mutt, okay? Give me something that breathes funny and can't chase me. Part pug, part pit bull, just that smushy little face, okay? All right, maybe throw a little bit of golden lab in there, okay? You know why? Because he's got a dumb, silly grin on his face. He's just happy to be there. Is he house trained? No. But why is that okay? Because I can fix him. I will give him spayed or every once in a while. You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I need whenever it comes to dating. I don't know. I will say this though. Dating apps, I get to travel a lot for comedy. I'm very lucky. I get to travel a lot to do this. This is really great. I love being here. But whenever I travel is whenever I go on dating apps a lot. I go, because this is the thing. I want to get a story. Alright, that's all I'm looking for is a story. Like, I was in Orlando, Florida recently because Disney adult, that's just how it works, okay? Alright? I was on Tinder in Orlando because I wanted to see what would happen. Like, I wanted to see if I could possibly find a soulmate, you know? Maybe a man who had an interesting backstory, like he ate his entire family while he was high on bath salts. Or maybe like somebody who's like hot, sexy, you know, shirt half unbuttoned, leaning on like a Lamborghini, who would leave me leaning over a bathtub full of ice, missing my kidneys at the end of the night. Or maybe somebody who's just really poetic and just didn't know how to like express themselves properly. You know, just like the next poet laureate. You know what I mean? Just wrote a beautiful profile bio that said, "Missing an appendage, guess which one?" I used to work at Gatorland, now I'm a manager at Publix. That's what I wanted to find while I was down there. Instead, I found a life lesson, and I'm going to teach that life lesson to all of you here tonight. That life lesson is, if you get the chance, okay? This one is a little bit more for the ladies, but gentlemen, probably the same train, okay? We'll get this, all right? If you ever get the chance, you're going to want to date someone who has just a scotch, just a little bit, just a touch of autism, just a little bit of autism, just a boop on the scooch, just a boop, that much autism, okay? Like if we're talking Disney films, we're talking whenever Elsa accidentally freezes Anna and she gets that cool looking like skunk tail gray in her hair, that's the amount of autism that you want. Man, you're looking at me and you're like, oh, I know which one of these dudes it is. I can tell too, it's not that hard. That's what you want, just a little boop, boop, that's it, okay? Why do you want that? Because their focus is insane, all right? I met a man who was from Chicago. I forgive him for that, okay? He talked to me for 45 minutes about fire hydrants. But then after that, he turned me into a fire hydrant for 45 minutes, okay? And you know what? It's kind of my fault. It's kind of my fault that I was very dehydrated. I'm still rehydrating from that experience, okay? All right? Because this is the thing. When he was done with his examination of every single fire hydrant down in Disney Springs, because that's where our date was, he decided it was finally time to ask me a question. And he asked me what my record number of orgasms was. And I told him. And his response to that was, "Oh, good, you gave me a number." And it took me a second to realize, oh shit, I'm in danger. I gave an autistic person a number. Okay? If they like something more than fire hydrants and trains, it's numbers, okay? Alright, and you know what? He knew how to work an abacus with those numbers, because he blew that number out the fire hydrant, alright, folks? It's insane. It's insanity. It's complete insanity out there. I noticed this though too, like dating now is completely different. Like I was with my ex whenever I turned 30 years old. I'm now 40 years old, so I wasted a whole fucking decade is the way you could put it. But now that means dating is entirely different for me. It's an entirely different world out there, okay? It's like the best way to equate it is like, you remember whenever you were in your 20s and you would listen to your like favorite band before you go out at night? And that band doesn't hit the same way as it does now that you're like in your 40s, you know? All right? Sir, you giggled at that. What band did you listen to before you went out? Maybe Trolling for Poon. You listen to there's a rap song about construction. Is that how it told you to stay on beat? Okay, I figured it out, man. There you go. Oh, he said yes. Okay, that dude folks is what he's saying. He wants everyone here in Lakefront Brewery to know that. Okay. Well, ma'am, next to you, what song did you listen to? Freebird? Something by the Bay City Rollers? What? You listen to Boston. What song by Boston? Ugh, Everything? Their greatest hits. The whole album? Okay, all right, Boston. any time now, which was very depressing to find out. It's also sad for you folks to know that I have to listen to terrestrial radio because I can't afford Sirius. Okay? And it is sung at the speed of someone who is overdosing on Averell but has a mouthful of Xanax. Okay? That's the vibe. That's the vibe. Okay? That's what it is. My favorite part of that song was in my 20s. In my 20s, it went like this. It goes like this. It goes, I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song. Oh, right? Oh, man, you just filled your donut hole, didn't you? But, oh, okay. No, man, that cut me deep. Oh, my God. Whenever I was in my 20s, 20-year-old man was like, oh, my God, boys are going to write songs like that about me one day. Now that I'm in my 40s, I realize I was just a hole on some asshole's air mattress out at the community college. Like, that's it. That's all that was for me. Like, it did teach me a lesson, though. I'm going to teach some of you that lesson tonight. Ladies, do you guys know the difference between a man and a fuckboy? You do, ma'am? You're very confident in that nod of your head. You're like looking over and you're checking. I'll tell you the difference, folks. For those of you in the room, it is 6 inches. Because that's how high their mattress needs to be elevated off the floor for you to fuck them. Okay? Spent too many times out of those community colleges on air mattresses in apartments that were filled with cat hair but somehow didn't have a cat. Okay? The litter box in the room, but also weird-looking Gatorade bottles with color you've never seen before in public. All right? It was weird, okay? We did that too many times to ourselves for people not to know the difference now. Buy a goddamn bed frame. And transition here a little bit, something a little bit more political. I think we should have the purge for kids. That's a lot of educators in this room. I don't mean in the traditional sense of the purge, okay? They run from violence every day in school. They're getting too good at hiding now. Look, some of you don't find that part of that joke very funny, but here's the thing. If I didn't tell that joke every time something happened, I'd never get to tell a goddamn joke. Okay? There's one thing the kids are doing better than anything else in the entire world, and that is telling the goddamn truth. Am I right? Yeah, now some of you don't agree. That's bullshit, okay? Who here has been called fat, ugly, stupid, weird face, or whatever by a niece or a nephew in this room? Yeah. Everybody else is lying, sir. It's not just me and you. Okay? I got called fat by my 7-year-old autistic nonverbal niece the other day. Yeah. Took my niece to Starbucks because she's fancy and she likes her croissants. I treat my princess fancy, she put on a croissant. Okay? So what we did, we got croissants. I got my little frappa-frou drink from Starbucks. Ladies, you know the one that has like this much foam and syrup and chocolate and whipped cream and this little bit of a bunch of caffeine bean juice. Okay, that's it. That's right, I call it bean juice. Okay. All right, that's it. And then you know what you have to do with that coffee? You zhuzh around like this, right? You've zhuzhed a coffee. All right, you've zhuzhed a coffee. We've all zhuzhed a coffee. It's okay. She's sitting across from me. She picks up her water cup, looks me dead in the eyes, and just goes. And I go, ma'am, you don't get to make fun of me until you use your words. Then she picked up her iPad talker device and hit the buttons. And Amanda, Well, for those of you who haven't been, let me paint a picture for you, okay? It is 3 a.m. Why is it 3 a.m. and you're in the Orlando airport? Because you went the first fucking flight out of Florida, okay? You got your eyeliner streaming down your face from the night before because you went out cruising for some triple D. That's right, Disney Dad dick. The way you find Disney Dad dick is you find a man in a crowd of matching shirts and he's wearing a shirt with Grumpy on it that says, I don't do matching t-shirts, okay? That's what you find, okay? And he shows you, he takes you on your own personal splash mountain minus the racial overtones. Shows you it is a small world after all. You're there in your bike shorts, your fanny pack, your Old Navy flip-flops, the eyeliner streaming down your face, and a pillowcase full of all of your earthly belongings huffed over your shoulder like a hobo bindle. Why? Because you fly Spirit and don't want to pay a goddamn bag fee. You're doing this homeless little stroll through the airport, and it is 3 in the morning. And what do you hear in the background? Oh, that's right, the screaming and crying of hundreds and hundreds of children who've been on a 2-week cocaine-like sugar high bender with no sleep schedule. They're wondering why Starbucks isn't open to deal out their cake pops yet, and they can't find the 4-fingered mouse. And you get in line at the airport, okay? And that is going to be the longest line you are in the entire goddamn state of Florida, okay? I don't care if you have clear or TSA pre-check. There's no fast pass for this line, okay? You are just in those cattle corrals, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And behind you is a woman with about 17 children. Only 3 of them you can figure out are probably her own because she took all her nieces and nephews and everybody else she's ever known in her goddamn life on this fucking family vacation. Okay? She's behind you with a double-wide jogging stroller, flat-tiring you every 3 feet in your Old Navy flip-flops. You don't have an extra dollar to buy a new pair this summer. What's going to happen? Okay? She keeps flat-tiring you, and you're going back and forth and back and forth. And those children are just screaming and crying and screaming and crying and screaming and crying and screaming and crying. And you make your way all the way up to the gate agent. You pull down your face mask. Why are you wearing a face mask, Amanda? COVID's over. It never existed. You wear a face mask because you want to breathe whatever's in the air in Florida. So you pull it down, you pull back up, you pull down, you pull back up, you pull down, you pull back up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, the gate agent lets you through. What's the first thing that you do ever since September 11th, 2001, as soon as you pass that gate agent? Take your shoes off. That's right, folks. You kick off those Old Navy flip-flops. You do the little 2-finger prong, pick them up. But you now find yourself in an even longer line. Okay? And now you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth through the airport, bare feet in a carpeted airport that's had the same carpeting for over 30 goddamn years. So whatever lives in that is all supposed to sink through the holes in the soles of your feet. That's just how Florida Man was created, okay? All right, these children are behind you screaming and crying and screaming and crying and screaming and crying. Woman's still trying to fold up the jogging stroller. Now she's taking the shoes off each and every one of the children, tying them together like she's going to throw them over top of all the power lines she's ever seen. Okay, you make your way over to the x-ray machine, put your hands over your head like this. Children are screaming and crying, screaming and crying. You're wondering why your uterus hasn't fallen out of the set bike shorts, made a beeline to TGI Fridays for a $15 margarita with an IUD as a star and Plan B as a rib. That's the Orlando airport. I'm going to be Avery. You guys have a good night.